Hey, I'm The Game, and you're watching Billboard.com.
Throw your motherfucking Cincinnati hats in the sky.
I wanted to sort of take all three of my albums and combine them all with that, doubled by me really going back to the beginning of my life and kind of telling the story, like where I was born and where I'm from, revisiting, that aspect of my life, and then bringing it all the way up into, the person who I am today. Of course, the color red is, has followed me throughout my life in the early stages of my career, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the album title. The album title was given to me by my fans, and with me, everything has to have has to be conceptual, have a meaning. What I did was I started thinking about what red really meant, or what it could mean to me without having to render me helpless, and in a sense. So I came up with rededication of myself to my family, my friends, my fans, and then my craft, which is hip hop music, and then redemption. I figured after all that I've been through in my life that it was time to kind of do away with my past and start all over and make a new beginning. So rededication and redemption, and the first three letters in both is R.E.D.
His mom's and pops met in Compton. Pops was from Nutty Block, Compton.
The whole album is narrated by Dre. So in the beginning of the album, he tells a story about the hospital I was born in, and then my mom, my dad were both gang members, and then towards the end of the album, it's, the birth of my daughter and, a new beginning. It's always good when you can start an album off right. Like, this is a song where I can kind of really express how I feel about all of my albums and really, tell people how I, judge myself in a sense. So I did that, and, I asked Kendrick to do a verse, but he did a verse that was too long, so I had to chop it. And what I did was I used the first 8 bars of his verse and I made it the hook. And then at the end, I kind of let the hook play out and let him finish his verse, so it was dope. But that's hip hop, you can kind of cut and chop and you copy and paste and do whatever you want to make it classic. Drug Test is great Western smash. Anytime you can get Dr. Dre and Snoop on a record with yourself, if you are indeed legendary or almost legendary West Coast hip hop figure, is big to me. So getting it in with them was just nothing but a dream. Weird, funny, crazy, and a little out of pocket. I called it Martians versus Goblins because me and Weezy have been saying that we were, Martians for as long as I've known him. And then on the song, he says, what's it going to a goblin? So I'm like, man, maybe he's not a Martian no more. He's calling himself a goblin. So then Tyler comes out with an album called The Goblin. And so I just wanted to pit all of us up against each other and, kind of mix it in and just call it Martians versus Goblins. Red Nation, the biggest band song since, I don't know, maybe Fuck the Police or something. When I did Red Nation, I thought it was pretty safe, and then Lil Wayne turned the hook in, and I was like, oh, damn it, now we really ain't getting on the radio with this. It was blood this and blood that, and I understand what he was trying to do. He used blood in a metaphorical sense where it was just broken down as different meanings on the hook, but media and radio, Viacom, BET, MTV, everybody, Radio 1 took it the wrong way, but I understood. They got a certain demographic that they got to please, and I got kids, so I definitely understood, so it was no hard feelings. It was never my intention to have it be gang affiliated or for anybody to listen to it and then want to go join a gang. It's just, a good hip hop song. The story of the black woman. Starts off very wholesome and sweet, and then like the men that we are, we come in and we cheat and we lie, and then they turn into the monsters. And the song Good Girls Gone Bad was a tribute, number one, to a story of my mom and my dad. My dad, he just beat my mom this way and that way my entire childhood, and then one day my mom ran him over with a car and almost paralyzed him. So that song is really in life.
My nostalgia's 100% Compton, 0% snitch.
Ricky is the story of every fallen young black man in Los Angeles. What people don't understand about Boys in the Hood is that aside from it being a movie, that was the everyday lifestyle of young black teenagers in Los Angeles, county. I kind of always wanted to make that movie into a song, and so I called DJ Khalil and I told him what I needed, and he was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that in a couple of days. And he called me one day about 4 or 5 months later, and he was like, where you at? I'm like, I'm in the studio with Timberland. He came down and he played the beat to Ricky, and I mean, it was so theatrical and scary that we were just like, wow. But I went in the booth and I just freestyled the song from top to bottom.
Pull the blinds down and took one hit of the endo. Niggas ain't doing shit but still in my neighbors.
I took the concept from the TV show First 48, and then I pitted it up against a story that, that I went through myself in Compton, selling drugs in a dope spot when I was 17 years old. And, in no way, shape, or form telling my story, do I ever want anybody to reenact it or try to be tough. When anybody listening to me tell my story or listening to my music, it's just music. It's my own, reenactments vocally of situations that almost killed me.
We got him.
Street Runner produced that, and I don't know where he found a sample from the 60s where somebody was saying they got guns, 45s, machine guns, and heavy artillery. And listening to the sample, the song must have been talking about maybe the army or something like that. Back in the day, I know they wasn't just talking about busting no guns like that. So kudos to Street Runner. What Paramedics is that, Jeezy, the laugh, the ha-ha, and you always wanted to do that laugh on your records, but you can't because you would be biting Jeezy. So I figured I would just get Jeezy on the song finally and just live vicariously through him, if only for 3.5 minutes. It's high energy, it sounds like a Jeezy record, and that's exactly what I meant.
The boys want their music on blast. Don't turn it down, turn it up every time the cops pass.
Speakers on blast. As soon as I heard it, I thought E40 and Big Boy. But I had wrote too many verses, so I had 2 verses. Regular song format is 3 hooks, 3 verses, and so we were at a standstill on who to get on it. So I reached out to both Big Boy and E40. E40 sent his verse back, and I was like, okay, now we got a song, and I put E40 at the end, and I rapped the first 2 verses. Then the day after, Big Boy sent his verse, and it was so crazy that me and my guys had an argument in the studio. We must have argued for about 3 hours who to take off. I came to the conclusion that it'd be okay if the song had 4 verses. We were going through the album, sequencing and sort of taking songs off that wasn't gonna make it, and we realized something, that there weren't any songs for girls on the album. So we were like, we need at least 2 songs for women. I called Mars to the studio, and he came down and he produced the beat so fast. I called Lloyd, he came down and he jumped on the hook, and then it was just left to me. And I'm a ladies man, so I know what to say to the women. I felt like women should have more than just one song, or they would be mad at me, and I didn't want that. So once again, I called Mars to the studio, and he produced that one really quickly. Mario just happened to be working in the same studio, so he came over and we wrote the hook together. It's always the songs that I don't like that everybody else loves, and I'll take you through the history of that. Dreams was a song that I thought was alright, but I don't really like it. I always want to rap about what really goes on in the hood, talk about my friends being murdered. But Dreams went on to be successful. I'm gonna start making songs that I don't like more, and maybe I can go diamond on the next album.
All I know is this pain and this life and this struggle.
I think that's the only song on the album where I could just rap freely. I wanted one song where I could just rap freely, no concept, just rap, and I was able to do it. And Boy Wonder provided a great beat, which I think that all of Boy Wonder's beats sound like they were stolen out of Drake's safe. So I was appreciative on being able to inherit one of those jewels.
And every little fuck up, they blame it on Barack, cause he just like T.I., born in the trap.
I've always wanted a chance to just be Nas on the Illmatic album, just if only for 4.5 minutes. So I really wanted a DJ Premier to be on the track. I knew that after, you know, he mixed it and scratched on it, that everybody else would appreciate it. Luckily, I was able to hold my own on it, channeling Nas's rhyme pattern, and it turned out to be a great song.
I know I must go and I don't know my ways.
The term that probably every child in the world with a good parent has heard was that, you think I was born yesterday? I did everything that you ever did, you know, and you don't believe that. You're like, you don't know nothing, you're a mom. I paid homage to my mom on Hate It or Love It through countless DVDs and interviews, but I never gave her a song. So I wanted to do a song, and Pharrell makes beautiful music. So he did the beat. I wrote the verses and kind of just went through them, kind of telling the listener just different things that my mom told me that I didn't listen to. For the first 6 months of my daughter's life, I slept with my eyes open. I didn't get hardly any sleep because I would watch her every single night at that song dedicated to her. And then while we were doing the song, I remembered that I had the entire birth on my iPhone. I pulled the phone out, and once I listened to it, I shed tears because I couldn't believe that I had it on there. And then once I put it on the song, you know, my intention was just to share my experience with people that didn't have children, and with people that did have children, to remind them of how beautiful birth is and how much we should appreciate our kids.
Crazy birth is loading up this Beretta, cause this time I'm having a baby girl, so it's whatever, whenever.